Welcome to Homeschooling for Spirituality. The Flow is a delightful mix of insight, divine inspiration, and humor, where wisdom meets earthiness to help your ongoing spiritual growth and transformation. Follow the flow of enlightenment and explore everything spiritual through the deepest self-inquiry, as student Lisa Berry asks Master Spiritual Teacher G.P. Walsh the kinds of questions you would ask an elder, a wise man, or a sage, and receive direct, simple, comprehensive, and deeply human lessons and teachings. From transcending the experience of separation, releasing old conditioned patterns and wounds, and alleviating suffering, to demystifying esoteric practices and revealing one's true purpose and innate freedom. Welcome to the flow of enlightenment. Transformation is all there is.
Ah, beautiful. I feel like I've been ushered into the flow today with that. Oh, hello, GP.
Good morning, Lisa.
Oh, good day, good day. We have some sent in questions and beautiful topics to come up with today. But today I love the theme because it is look to the heavens whilst standing on the earth. I love that so much. And you came up with that. It's beautiful.
How about it? I came up with one.
Yeah. You've been coming up with quite a few. And I think it's because I would love to share with all the listeners. We're going to share with you through the show, the first hour, of all that you can participate in with GP as he's leading these retreats and courses and stuff. You can just tune in, just like today, with the flow of enlightenment. Yes. But I think, yes, there's been a lot of inspiration, I think. And today is really about, I feel like it is, it's not just reflection, as we stand on the earth and look to the heavens. It's seeing. Well, I'm going to ask you that. Is that we're seeing in the other what we are already in, or is it showing us something that we need to see?
It's more the latter. Yeah, it's more the latter. The human being is actually the intersection between heaven and earth.
Oh.
When you look to the heaven, you're looking to your source. You're looking to your origin. When you're looking at the earth, you're looking at the manifestation. You're looking at the experience of your own being. And the true non-duality is both. It is this beautiful flow between the absolute and the relative, between the universal and the particular, between the human and the divine. Because they're really two aspects of one ineffable, indescribable thing that isn't a thing, right? You can't. It goes beyond. It goes beyond description, and that is the role of the human being. That's our true role. That's our true purpose. We forgot that because we've gotten so identified first with the body and then with the mind, which has even divorced itself from the body, that we've completely forgot our origins. And the origins, and I'm not talking about space people, right, or star beings and things like that, or people from other dimensions. That's all well and good. If there are such things, they originated in the same place we did, all coming from that essence that we call the divine, which is just a word that we use to describe what can't be described. That which is just that which is beyond. But that beyond is nothing other than the truth of your being. And so when you're standing on the earth and looking to the heavens, I like it as the metaphor, because it is always the divine, our divine essential, that informs this moment. And this moment needs that because it has to draw from something outside of itself in order to be informed, in order to define itself. But then it manifests that as the world, as myself in the world. And so my individual human being is as significant as the divinity from which I came. Or as they say in Buddhism, the ordinary human being is the Buddha.
GP, first of all, you said three. You don't even know my questions, and you talked about three of them in there. but the fact that you just said about significant, it always I want to say it hurts. It always hurt my feelings, so to speak. Like I took it really. It hurt when I would hear people say, "Who are we? We're nothing. We're insignificant compared to what the greatness is out there." And I'd be like, "No, I am significant." And I would, and it would break my heart, thinking, "Well, that doesn't feel good, so it can't be true, right?" So that's how I kind of go with. But when you said that felt so beautiful and nice. That yeah, we are as significant, and we do matter. We're not just a little tiny thing that doesn't matter in the universe, because we are part of everything.
Oh, more than that. We're the consciousness of the universe. I mean, how can you get more significant than that?
Right.
You know, this is an age of the discovery of the greatness of humanity. Mm-hmm. Our friend and I we spent a couple hours just talking about that, because it was such a new idea for both of us. Because we always think about the terms of the greatness of the leaders and the great artists and writers and, you know, industrialists and people who've created all these great things. It's always, but the individual. But we never see that the individual is a reflection of the whole. Take it all together instead of it making it this divine I, make it a divine we. And this is every great one was great humanity. It is the open door. It is the greatness that is in all of us. You know, and yes, and humanity's been terribly demeaned, but the one that's been demeaned is not humanity; it's the ego, which has nothing to do with the greatness of divinity. In fact, it pits itself against it.
Oh, there's that. That was another perfect word. That humanity's been demeaned, and then the ego is really where we're going with that. When you said about this, you were talking about this moment. You know, that there being this moment, and I was talking with somebody, and we were talking about, well, the minutes don't really matter, and when we're talking about how somebody else was significant, they've, you know, left their mark, or they gave us such great works or art or books, but we're separating ourselves in that from the moment as well as that manifestation. Are we a part of all manifestations then?
Well, of course. How could we not be? It's all part of the same environment. That's like saying, am I a part of my family?
Well, some people certainly say, I'm not a part of this family.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, I'd wished deeply that I wasn't.
Right.
But it didn't change the fact.
Right.
I kept thinking, no, they must have switched me at the hospital, except I look so much like all of them. It was like, oh, shit, I can't get away with that one. So you just kind of... But at the same time, we all know that who we are is shaped by our family. We don't look beyond that, you know. It's shaped by the community. It's shaped by our cultural heritage. It's shaped by the nature of the world itself, by the fact that we have to breathe air and eat food. You cannot take one away from humanity. I mean, what's short without tall? It doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Everything is defined in terms of something else. What is the great? What is somebody who's great? Well, it's only somebody whose accomplishment stands out from what's normal at the time. Right? It was great when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Right, the first human being. You're not supposed to run faster. Now kids are doing it in high school.
Yeah.
So even the greatness is locked simply in the perception of time. There's a greatness in all of us, and it's not necessarily some great thing you're going to do, because those are all culturally interpreted. You know?
Yes.
You know, Alexander the Great. What was he great at? You know, killing people.
Yeah.
And taking over other countries and stealing their resources, just like the U.S. I mean, what's great about that? I mean, it's all defined by, you know, the way it gets interpreted in the cultural bias at the time, which then ignores the greatness of the third grade teacher, right? It's you know, it's kind of twisted. That's part of the deal we're struggling here with. But the reality is humanity is awesome. It's just staggering. The universe conscious of itself. I mean, ponder that for a second. Imagine this universe as spectacular and glorious and wonderful it is, and nobody there to see it.
Would the, but in a weird, not weird way, in a way, you know how when we do that self-inquiry, and you say, well, who is asking and who is observing? Even the observer is now being observed, so it's not even, it's even backward, more, more behind that. So is there always some, I don't want to say thing because there's no thing, but if it's like this rhyme, it's like, what is it called? A riddle that I'm trying to spit out. Yes. Is somebody seeing something?
Well, of course you are, aren't you? Okay. I mean, it's self-evident. We don't look to the obvious. You're the one conscious of the universe.
Right.
The whole self-inquiry is to make you aware of you being aware, that you are that consciousness that is aware, that is appreciating, that looks at the tree and goes, wow.
Right.
I mean, Joseph Campbell actually said, God is the feeling of looking at a tree and saying, wow.
Oh, I love wow words, actually. I love saying wow. I say wow a lot. Funny you should mention this, too, because the question that came through from one of our listeners, Donna, we were having a good old chat, and there was a few questions that came up, but this one was falling perfectly in time, is we came up how the awareness serves us. So we have an awareness, which is the Enlightenment. And then, so we're suddenly aware. So we're suddenly aware of something like self-judgment, or we're suddenly aware of this thing that we do that we didn't even know. We go, wow, I do that. That's me. My ego recognizes this is an awareness. And maybe we haven't changed it yet. Maybe we haven't, done anything. But how can that awareness, what are the steps of the awareness serving us?
Well, it serves you through the power of discrimination, which will be in my next course, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because with the awareness comes wisdom. With the awareness comes the ability to discern between what's true and what isn't, what's beautiful and what isn't, what's useful and what isn't. That's awakening, right? It's as practical and as earthy as you can possibly get. At one point I do something and I'm doing it, and then something inside me goes, "This is stupid. This doesn't work," right? And it's true. Well, where's that? What is that? Well, that's the awakening. That's wisdom. That's discrimination. That's the power of awareness. I mean, otherwise you're not aware, right? You're unconscious, right? And so you're just acting these patterns out. But when you become aware of conditioning as conditioning, these patterns of thought and the like, that have their inevitable consequences from which you are suffering. Right. The moment you wake up and you go, oh, that's why that's happening, and the momentum can still be there, right? The habit of doing it can still be there for a while, but its days are numbered. I mean, you simply can't continue anymore, right?
Oh, that was awesome! All right, habit, your days are numbered. I love that, and that was the one thing that was coming up is our. I want to write that down, number, because let's say and Donna was okay with me sharing this one. Like, one thing she just became aware, which I love that you said, awareness is an awakening, is wisdom, that she was, worried about. She had a fear, a future fear of, I don't want to slip. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to fail. So she's aware of it. She goes, I didn't know I was aware about this before. So her question was, okay, so I'm aware of it now. So that can serve me how? And now we can share, and I think she's listening today, is that yes, it was, because now we know that habit, its days are numbered about doing it.
Yeah, you just keep staying with the awareness. And what'll happen is you'll feel the impulse to do it. You'll feel that energy of habit still in the body. And you might even do it. Right?
Yes.
But it just simply won't taste good anymore. That meal
just ruined it.
It's lost it. You ruined it for me.
Exactly. I can't enjoy this anymore because now I know it's wrong.
Now I know it's making me fat now.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Or financially, a lot of people realize, wow, I can't do that anymore. I'm realizing now that this thing is costing me so much, and I'll never save money. Like, there's so many ways that we.
Oh yeah.
I love that you said stay with the awareness. So that's really encouraging. Stay with the awareness. We're not saying to be perfect and change it, but just stay with the awareness.
Oh, good luck being perfect.
What?
Newsflash.
That was my goal.
Yeah, newsflash. No, that's the humility of it. I mean, you become very humble when you realize some of these things you're absolutely powerless. The only thing you can do is notice that it's happening. But if you do consistently, the power begins to come. Wisdom begins to bring the power that actually begins to shift the flow.
Oh, that was powerful. Wisdom will bring the power that shifts the flow. And if we think of that stream, that river, that's the wisdom that's shifting and having the water just maybe go a little bit different.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's beautiful.
For the ocean instead of the cesspool.
Yes, yeah. Don't go there. That's the sewer.
Yeah, that's right. That's just sewer water. Yeah.
Oh, well, what I'll do, because we're coming to commercial, I will invite people. So just as even, maybe you don't have time to come and ask the question on air, you can always let us know. But if you can call in at 202-570-7057, and I'll repeat that number when we come back for commercial break, and hopefully there's somebody who has a beautiful question for us.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes. Co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Touch, move, and inspire. Sharing your story of how you overcame your deepest struggle will serve as someone else's survival guide. You are ready to get the book out of your head and onto the page. I'm Jocelyn Bellows, host of Breakdown to Wake Up, a live stream show dedicated to sharing personal journeys of men and women who have traversed through mazes of uncertainty, dark clouds, and dishonoring themselves, and the lessons they have learned along this path of what one can accomplish in our own self-discovery. And as a writing and life coach, I work with men and women to break through the BS of their lives to find their own voice and leaping into a life they love. It is my belief that when we share our stories of how we overcame what we have been through, it will serve as someone else's survival guide. So if you're ready to get the book out of your head and onto the page, I'd love to hear from you. Go to www.jocelynbellows.com and join me every Tuesday at noon Eastern and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour,
if you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind,
walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out, and for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Harmony, though. Oh, wonderful. We have shifted the flow. Well, welcome back to the flow of enlightenment, which is constantly shifting, and we love that. And GP, just before we went to commercial break, I invited people to ask a question, so we really do love that. It's so helpful. Like, the questions just never they never ceased, which is fabulous. Everybody starts at a different place, and you get to revisit them. I am just shocked over, I'll hear something and then I'll hear it differently, and then I'll hear the same thing differently, and I think, come on, really, how many layers are there to this? And so let me give that number to everybody again. So it's 202-570-7057. Call in, ask your question live on air to GP Walsh. And with this, okay, so I've been going through, we have access, which is fun. We have access to the courses just before they go out, so we know how to share it with people. And on this upcoming course, which, can I reveal that? Yes, I'll reveal the name because we'll share it. Okay. I was like, I didn't ask you if I could do this. It is the 4 powers of creation. And you guys, this is like, it was, oh man, my mind gets blown every time. And I won't talk about the one that really got me at first, which is all about bringing forth something, but time. Like, GP, the way you defined or explained why time was invented, the usefulness of it, what it does, I wish I didn't listen to it before bed because I almost couldn't sleep. I was so excited. And I thought, wow, this is mind-blowing for real, because if you could share I think you'll remember how you said it, but why was time? Oh, okay. Well, I'll help you a little bit. I know you'll know.
Help me out here. I didn't remember what I said. Yeah,
it's this mystery.
I don't remember what I said this morning. So.
Well, the way you explained it, and to my best understanding, was time was created, not just the measurement to a place and show up and listen to the same time. It was it is a weird measurement, but it's a spiritual measurement. It's an energetic measurement to define something and its meaning. Without time, it couldn't have the meaning that it does.
Well, right. Yes, I mean, the time is a setting, right? We talk about the times. And what is the times? Well, the times are nothing but the dominant conventional ways of thinking and believing. And that's what we mean by the times. The nature of time itself is simply the relative distance between 2 events.
Yes.
And so it exists with the events. No events, no time. And which is why in the now there is no time, because the now is not a function. The now, and Eckhart Tolle explains this beautifully, it's not one in a series of moments. And that's the way we think of it.
Yes.
Time is the background. It's part of the awareness. The now is the awareness, witnessing events taking place. To the events, they are happening in time. To awareness, they are simply happening now. A thing is happening. And so time becomes a useful tool, but it's a relative measurement. It's not absolute. We're not something flowing in time, right? Like time is this river. That's why we like to think of it, carrying things along, right? It is just the fact that transformation is all there is, like our slogan says, gives rise to the experience of time, which is an illusion. It's a concept of change, and because of memory, I invented time. Without memory, it's just one series of things after another. Right? There's not even a series of things. It's just one thing, one event, one infinite, eternal event, which is actually the truth.
Right. So, see, that's so interesting what you said about time. It's about change, transformation. And when somebody is going through their grieving, and somebody else might say, oh, these things take time. But that time is different for everyone. That I could be grieving for the same person that you're grieving for.
Yes.
But I'm longer or shorter grieving. But so then why do we even say things like that? It just takes time.
Well, because
between the events.
Because what we're measuring is a change in the state of emotion.
Right.
That's all.
It's a way of saying there's a distance between So if you're grieving and I'm grieving and somebody says, well, these things just take time and they're different for everybody, it's just basically saying somebody will get to that measured place, that destination.
It doesn't take time, it creates time.
Ooh! Oh my gosh, I think we can make that go viral. Let's change that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe what you just said. It makes time. Yes.
Doesn't take time, it makes time. As if there's something out there you're going to go to the store and buy time.
Yes.
Or order it and Amazon delivers it. Right?
Can you order some time, please?
It's just that measurement. It actually makes the time. And you're simply marking a measurement between a shift and a state. And if you look really close, you'll find that nothing ever sits still. That there's never a moment where a shift isn't taking place.
Right.
So you can think of, and in between any 2 points, you'll find an infinite number of shifts.
Yes.
So any second is an eternity. The whole thing folds back in on itself. It's all just now. I mean, you can get really complicated. All you ever know, all you ever experience is right now. And if you stayed in right now, that is, of course, you can't be anywhere else. Try to get out of it, right? What it really means is your attention focused simply on what is here right now, without comparing it to the past or the future, you will find eternal bliss right now.
So if you're suffering, so if you're suffering, is it because, and the time seems longer because you're like, God, I'm in agony. I can't get out of this moment, this minute. Is the suffering making us seem like we're measuring time more?
Well, the suffering, I got to get out of this moment.
Yes.
Right? I got to get out of this suffering. The getting out is the suffering. I got to get out of this moment, right? Is what you're actually saying. And you can't, right? And the only reason the moment is suffering is because you're comparing it to another moment.
Yes.
That's it. If you stop comparing, that is, you actually get into the now fully, right? The suffering will end. Because it's caused by our remembering a better past and projecting a better future. Period. Take those away, which are completely in the mind. They're imaginary. They're not real. They can't be.
Right.
So you're suffering from imagination, thinking that this moment should be different than it actually is. You drop that thought and suffering ends instantly.
Okay. A lot of people, I remember hearing, well, not remember hearing, I mean, I hear it probably today, I'll probably hear it tomorrow, when couples who have been together for 20 years, 25 years, they've raised children, and they say, yes, but we're not going to just throw all that time away. We're not going to just, but I'm like, first of all, you're not living it now anyways. It's already gone. Not gone, but, well, I guess it's kind of gone. But that thing of why do we want to hang on to something that we feel like we've invested time into, because we couldn't have invested time into it, whether it's a job or relationship or something. What's that attachment there for us?
Holding on to a memory. What's here now? And in fact, if the couples were actually here and now, the likelihood of them wanting to split apart would be much greater, much less. I mean, it's because they're comparing the person to who they were, right? Comparing to the experiences we had to the experiences we had before. Which means you've cut yourself off from the potential of what's available here and now. You can't see it. Oh. You cannot see now while you're looking at the past or projecting into the future. You cannot see the present moment. It will have no meaning. This person will not be lovable when you're comparing them to who they were 20 years ago. They can't be.
Okay. And is that the standing on earth while looking to the heavens?
Well, yeah. The heaven is now.
The heaven is now. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Christ said it. Don't say, look, it's over there. Look, it's over there. It says the kingdom of heaven does not come with observation. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is right now. He also said the kingdom of God is spread upon the earth, but the people don't see it.
So now is on the earth as well. So yes.
Absolutely. When you're in the now, as I said, it's bliss. There's no suffering. That's heaven.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is good. So now I'm thinking about the reflection part. The heaven is the now, because now is the now. It's not an actual moment. It's not time. It's now. It's not a series. A moment is series. And then the reflection of it is on the earth because we've manifested that.
Well, it's manifested us, actually. Yeah. It's the other way around. We're not making anything.
I want to take credit for that. No.
I really want to take credit for that. Well, if you take credit for that, you also have to take credit for COVID, for all the world wars, for world hunger. So, I mean, you're going to take the credit, you've got to take the blame.
That's why I'm sheepishly backing out. I'm backing forward.
I didn't do that.
Wait.
God did that. Why did God do that? When we are in the present moment, we see things as they are. We're not looking at something for what it can give us, for what it used to be, what it could be, what I can get from it, right? Because that's all future and past oriented. I'm totally present in this moment. I don't need anything because I'm not comparing it to anything else. The moment's perfect. So I'm seeing everything as it is, not in relationship to my needs or my ego. I'm seeing it through the eyes of the now, of God, of the truth. And therefore you see heaven on earth. It's everywhere, as Christ said.
So even a person who had a beautiful family, career, making money, and now they're homeless or close to it, or poverty, or they were I don't even know, perfect health, and then now they're not, they're sick. We really do have to find the perfectness and bliss in that moment too.
Well,
that's tricky.
Tricky, yeah. I mean, because who's going to say, "Oh yeah, it's okay. I'm living under a bridge. Life is good."
Yeah.
I mean, that would be cruel. We can't think of those kinds of things. The level of wisdom required for us to make sense of this whole thing is greater than we can fathom. Joseph Campbell visited, when he was still alive, he visited the sage Atmananda when he was in India. And his first question to Atmananda when he got an audience with him was, he says, what is, in Hinduism, it's all, God is immanent in everything. It is all divine. He says, what do you make of all the stupidity, the brutality, the greed, the cruelty? And Atmananda said to him, for you and I, we have to say yes to it.
Oh.
And interestingly enough, one of his aides told Joseph Campbell after the fact that was Atmananda's first question to his guru.
Oh, wow.
That question is the big question, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because it's not fair.
We just want to dismiss it and go, it should be this way or something like that. We don't actually want to take the hook of that and follow it all the way back to the actual solution to that problem, because it will bring you back to the essential conflict between who you are and who you believe yourself to be, or the human ego. And it's not. It's meant to be a life quandary that takes you right to the heart of realization. I mean, look at life. Everything in life survives by eating something else. I mean, what? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, when you actually look at life as it is, and you really grok it, something inside of you just kind of like gets humbled. But why is it this way? And we can either take some nice religious or ideological position and cheat ourselves out of the depths of that inquiry. But to really find the answer to that question is to solve the riddle of being, and that's why it's here. That's why it's set up the way it is. All of this is set up to drive you completely down to your knees, where you actually ask the right question, which is, who the hell am I?
I like how you identified it as the riddle of being. Now that is the best ever. There was something, I took a note, I love that you said this, and I wrote it down, and it said, the goal of the universe is for everyone to become self-aware. And why you had said that in what I was listening to was, a lot of people ask, what's my purpose? What's this? And you said, well, what's the universe's purpose? And I thought, whoa, that's a better question. Let's do that. and then you answered it, thank God, because I thought, I don't know if I'm going to come to that one yet right away. So, the purpose, the goal of the universe. And it was so miraculous when I thought of that, is for everyone to become self-aware. And so I thought that was kind of like the journey, the riddle, to get to figure out the riddle of being.
For the universe to become self-aware, you are the fulfillment of its goal, darling. You are the universe fulfilling its goal.
Whew. Well, there's another one. Jeez. It is miraculous, and when you think of that, and with that, you had said we are to harmonize. Are to harmonize with the goal of the universe, which is complete and total self-awareness. And so, to ask, as you just said, there is, it's like we're getting deeper and we're digging through, and getting to that right question. And you're right, because it's hard when we do look around. I know for myself, especially when I'm looking and thinking, "Gosh, it doesn't seem fair," and how can I be one with that that yucky, hurtful, painful, suffering thing over there? I don't want to be, and that stomping my feet temper tantrum actually holds me back from this whole goal.
Yes, living in the ambivalence and ambiguity of it. Life is a koan. It is a question that does not have an answer that the mind can give. You are the answer.
And if you is the answer, then we have to do self-inquiry to find out who you is. Who you is.
Where else are you going to find the answer to all the questions of the universe except right at the heart of the universe, which is you? You are the universe. Know yourself, you know everything.
Yes, know thyself. Well, that's a perfect commercial break time. We'll slip away, and when we come back, more on who he is.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose. To link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. ascendinghearts.com.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Coping-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
If you're feeling increasingly lonely right now, you're not alone. It's totally normal. Even though we may not be able to get together in person, connecting virtually with friends and family still gives you a chance to interact with people and may help raise your spirits. Join a virtual book club, set up group text chats, or online video coffee breaks with coworkers.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
All right. Well, GP, this has been... See, you're saying all these beautiful... and I don't want to make them down to one-liners, but I'm like, wow, I want to write them all on sticky notes and put them around me.
GP's one-liners.
Yes.
It's my Las Vegas act.
Yeah. Hey, we could get you booked there. If anybody's listening, knows how. Well, I love that we come together every week on Tuesdays here on the Flow of Enlightenment to, just share, ask questions and answers and hear these things. Now, I want to, first of all, invite everybody to your upcoming retreat, which is normally in person. However, it's going to be online this year. And I'm going to let you give those details of when and how.
Well, it's starting on Friday.
Yes.
It is virtual. It's going to be for 3 days, which basically we will meet for 2 hours a day, 10 o'clock my time, which is
1.
For the first 2 days of it, it's 5 p.m. UTC, and then it will be 6 p.m. UTC.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Well, no, UTC stays the same, but, London time is now, you guys in Europe go into summertime on Saturday. So 2 of the days will be one time, and the next day will be an hour later. Very confusing. I don't like the whole
You're proving how time isn't really existing.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. We just made this shit up.
Yeah.
So that we could be really confused about what time to show up somewhere.
Right. Just
and if it
messing with
wasn't
us.
confusing enough, we start moving it, right? Yeah, thank you. But at any rate, it will be a couple hours of really focused meditation and self-inquiry, just really kind of digging in. You'll be there with me live on video, unlike my regular satsangs, which are just, tech people chatting and I answer questions. This I can really interact with you. We can go deeper than I can in the satsang. And I'm encouraging people to try to turn it into a retreat weekend to minimize their distractions. Obviously, if you're at a facility and we're together, we can minimize the distractions that way. That's what are great about retreats. But we can't do that right now. So I'm encouraging people to do that, to make it as best they can. And it's being sponsored by the Krishnamurti Center of Canada, which is a really wonderful organization. So it's very reasonably priced as well. And it's just gpwalsh.com/retreats, and you'll see the information about it and a button to actually click and register. And so I hope to see you all there. We have plenty of room, and they've been very well attended, and people get an enormous amount out of them because this kind of an inquiry, as you can see, working with this kind of an inquiry with non-dual pointings, non-dual ideas, is so different.
Yes.
It really does require the aid of an experienced teacher, at least to get you started and to help make corrections as you go along. It's not really the kind of thing you can grasp just watching YouTube videos, because we tend to hear new information, but we take the new information and we process it through the old context. So we're kind of interpreting what we're experiencing from the point of view we already have, whereas the teacher can take the stick to it and can break that connection and give you a new context, which is really what it's all about, to see yourself differently. Not just to have more information about the same one you've always been, but to actually see who you are isn't who you are. Never has been, never will be. And to really understand how to break through that to the discovery of your true nature, which you'll find to be utterly beautiful and utterly blissful.
That was beautiful. And if I could share with people, I feel like this process, I absolutely, like, yes, what you said, you do need a teacher. And here's why, because you might go at, I don't know why I have this image, but I'm having an image of a mouse going at a piece of cheese, and he goes at it one way, and he's like, well, it does taste good, and I know it's cheese, and I'm on the right thing, but I can't quite get to, maybe over here, I got to try over here, and you go from different places to nibble through. But
some of them have traps.
Yes. Oh, and that's so true. Absolutely. Because you could, if you're right, if along my path, I think, okay, I've nailed this one. I got this one. And then I'll do something and think, oh, no, wait. Oh, I went at it the wrong way. I'm in a trap again. And then I have to come back to you and go, okay, wait. if this is this, then what about this? And you're like, because of this. And so then I'm like, okay, then I've got that little barrier cleared away, because we have so many, we don't know all those programs. We don't, that awareness piece. It's like, we just don't know them. And they will reveal themselves as you have an awakening. Wait, hold on. Now I've got a question. Is the awakening when it's revealed, or we have an awakening and then it reveals the next? It's like you can't see that card until you flip this card over.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. These kinds of insights build on themselves, and then they gain a momentum, and eventually the whole house of cards falls down. The whole structure that makes up the ego just collapses. You see the whole thing is a fraud.
I like thinking that the ego is like a house of cards. That is so true. Oh, I bet there's a good image for that. Oh, hold on. You guys got to see these images that we choose for the shows. Are just so beautiful. And with that being said, it's been so tricky, and I like that we're, look to the heavens, stand on earth, on the earth, it's such I would have thought that immediately. Yes, like I'm separate from that, and then I think, okay, well, it's a reflection, so it's a reflect. But it's more than a reflection; it's a part of, and to, as what you just said, to not just own other things, like that's mine. That's my problem. That's my thing. That's who I am. It's you're the creator, so you're not just even owning something. It's not like it's my thing. You've created it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like a dream, right? Yeah, you created it, but you don't really know how. And it's not anything you can control. You just know that it's happening. It's a spontaneous arising. It's the ego that wants to be the co-creator. It wants the law of attraction so it can make things the way it wants it to. But you're not that. It's not that. Right? Creativity is... It's not a conscious thing. It's like jazz. It just happens. It's an improvisation. It's the universe improvising, and you're a witness of it. And if you see yourself as the witness of it rather than the creator of it, you see it as really just yourself, the spontaneous arising of yourself, and the revealing yourself to yourself. I mean, this is the universe playing.
Oh, I like that. The witnessing, not the creator. Okay, I have to tell you something funny about jazz. I absolutely love jazz now, but I must share this. When I was young and naive, I used to always refer to jazz as, gosh, it sounds like a cat jumped up on the piano and was just walking along it. Right? And something magical happened. I went to, my cousin is a drummer, a jazz drummer, and I went to play, to witness and enjoy and see. And, I was putting my face on like, yeah, this is great. And I did not like it even then, but I was like, well, this is, how is he doing that? And so it was in this, just witnessing. I'm not judging. I'm not trying to change it, or I can't really change the channel. And something happened. I just started witnessing it for what it was, and I fell in love with it. It's like, I listened to it. So it's really funny. Yeah. That I see what you're saying. You could take something that I literally did not enjoy. It was not pleasant. It was uncomfortable. It took the ego out.
Yeah, and something opens up inside. And it doesn't mean everything in the world is going to, I want this, I want that. I mean, it's nothing like that. Right. You're just going to find the places that you have access to for an appreciation of beauty that you didn't know before. It was being restricted by a narrow view. If the only thing I want to listen to are polkas, then I'm never going to experience the wonder of a symphony. Right? Or if I'm really stuck on, some pop singer, I'm never going to really appreciate the magnificence of a Beethoven. And it's not that there's anything wrong with listening to pop singers. I love the Rolling Stones. They're fantastic, right? Yeah. But that's not all there is to it, right? I can appreciate them as they are, in terms of the level of capacity and skill. There's just no comparison, right?
Right.
But I can still groove to Jumping Jack Flash. Do
you think Beethoven was? When we say some people are more enlightened than others? Do we witness the more enlightenment in others when we do see, witness pieces like that, like artwork and music?
Well, we have to have something to truly appreciate the greatness of something. There has to be a greatness in you that can look at it and go, "Wow!"
Oh, that happens in the earth again.
Yeah, it's a we. It's got to be a we. If I don't see it, then that's not a wow, is it? So something inside of me has to vibrate in harmony with that greatness in order for me to know it as greatness.
Is when you said vibrate, that caught me on that one. Is that how that's our discerning measurement stick? Like if it vibrates, not like if it does have dissonance, like a yucky dissonance, like I've discerned that this is a bad dissonance vibration. Is that our best way to know?
When our eyes are clear, yes, and we're spiritually mature, then you can trust it. If not, it's an ego. It can be an ego judgment, which is quite capable of pushing away the beautiful for the ugly, which it does all the time.
Oh gosh, well it sounds like a trap.
It is a trap, absolutely. Yeah, it appeals to the lowest common denominator. That's what most entertainment is. Now, it's banal and vacuous, but we've been educated to it brings a certain kind of primitive feeling with it. It's kind of like candy. They make candy in all the colors to match fruit, to try to fool the body into thinking it's fruit, and then just delivers this big dose of sugar. I mean, it's toxic and it's evil.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned mature spirituality, and if it's not, then it's ego. But that's an interesting little trap. Like, how do we know?
That's the spiritual quest. And once you recognize that you are encased in egoic conditioned thinking, you discern that you've got to get out of it, and now you are really on the spiritual path. And it's not rainbows and unicorns. You're on the true path to transcend what you now see as the cause of all suffering.
Oh, okay. This is perfect questioning right now. We still have 3 minutes. This is good. Because yes, it's not all rainbows and perfect. Yes, I'm enlightened, and here we go. Now I can, take life bull by the horns. It's what if we fear that, oh gosh, I can't be spiritual because then I won't be able to enjoy my beer. I won't be able to enjoy because I'll be too spiritual, and I won't want to have sex, and I'll be like a god. What happens if we're afraid of losing our earthly possessions and values and goods if we become too spiritual?
And that is a trap.
Aha.
Yeah, that's a trap. How can you suffer from simply losing all the bullshit that was never you in the first place?
Right.
How can you suffer from losing suffering? Right. Yes, it's a challenge to our view of things. As what the cause of suffering actually is. But the end result is the veil gets pulled from your eyes, and life is better. Sex is better. The beer tastes better.
Well, there's a commercial slogan.
There you go. There's the commercial for Enlightenment.
It's better. It's better.
Everything's better with awakening.
Well, and because a lot of times people will say they do something, I don't know, they worry about their children. Okay, so here you are, they worry about their children, but they think, well, if I were to stop worrying about my children, which would be lessening the suffering, but then they think, yeah, but then I'm not a good mom.
Which is a trap. I mean, it's silly, right? Does worrying actually make anything better? No, matter of fact, it actually robs your creative capacity for intelligent solutions. It sucks energy. Yes. It doesn't do anything for you whatsoever, and a lot of it is delusional, right? You cannot protect the child from what it's its destiny to experience. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here being able to speak like this if somebody had protected me, something that saved me from my upbringing.
Right. Yes.
I mean, it's what taught me, right? I mean,
Yes.
Everybody has to have their experience as they do. The object is to not get attached. My son said this to me the other day. He's, my 4-year-old granddaughter, and he said, "I have learned that parenting is all about letting go."
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And we must parent ourselves, and that means to let go.
We have to let go of that. You only have to let go of your suffering.
Right.
Why
Yes.
is it so hard to sell?
All right, guys, that's what we're leaving you with. It's you're letting go of your suffering. Just let go of your suffering. So that's the mantra for today, I think. Go and with
T-shirt. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, another T-shirt. Oh my gosh, that's perfect, GP. All right, so everybody, please go to gpwalsh.com/retreats and check out this beautiful thing that starts this Friday. And we hope to see you there. And otherwise, tune in next Tuesday on The Flow of Enlightenment with GP Walsh and myself, Lisa Berry. Thank you, everyone.